Hello, everybody. This is Chris Pfluger. I am your Chief Development Officer here at We Insure, and we're back again with another We Wonder. Today's We Wonder is very interesting because it's about agency video engagement. And really, it's about shooting video and engaging with your clientele. Why would you do it? How do you do it? Is it worthwhile? Obviously, it is. We wouldn't be doing a We Wonder, right? So today we have Terri Branson. Terri, how are you doing?
Doing great. Happy Wednesday.
Thank you very much. And I appreciate you joining me today. We have you on here because you're doing an excellent job of consistently putting out fantastic video content for your sphere of influence. So we're going to ask a lot of questions along those lines. But one of my favorite quotes here is the very best video that's out there is the one that people will watch. And so we're going to find out from an expert today exactly, that's you, Terri. We're going to find out what those videos are, content, everything about it. So let's start a little bit. Let's introduce you and tell us a little bit about your situation, how you're set up with your We Insure. And I see the little plaque in the background. So you're in your office. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. So to begin with, I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And when I am in the office, which is most days, I'm inside a RE/MAX office. Our particular group has 6 offices now, 6 locations, but I tend to stay in this one building most of the time where I've got, like most of our agents, I've got my dual screens and have all my stuff. I do sometimes work from home, but normally I am here in the office so that real estate agents can walk by my office and stop in and say hi and get to know each other a little bit.
So you're the expert that all the real estate agents know to go to in the office.
That's what we're hoping for.
Excellent. And do you ever go to other offices or you stay primarily in one location?
I do from time to time, especially if they're having any kind of event in some of the other offices. Sometimes I'll go and park there for the morning and then be there for the event or for the afternoon and just work from there just so that I can see some different agents face to face.
Well, that's fantastic. I've worked with Mandy and Tad Fulford for years, and I think they made a fantastic choice, obviously working with you, but also adding a We Insure. So let's go through this a little bit about the videos that you do. So
sure.
I'll start off with the special room. So you're in your office today, but typically it's a special space. So tell us a little bit about how you set it up.
Yeah, so it just happens that because Mandy and Tad do encourage some of their realtors as well to do video, that upstairs in our building, we have a little corner of a room that's set up specifically for that. So there's a lot of great lighting and some good options and a light ring where I can mount my phone. And normally, if I'm in the office, that's where I shoot my video each and every time because I've gotten used to how I want the lighting set up and it's just kind of consistent as far as background. I don't have any questionable things going by the window or anything.
Fair enough. So that's great. So you have your own space. Luckily, it's a space that everybody uses for shooting video. So it's very professional, but it's not overly produced. So let's talk a little bit about the style. The style of it is, it's still realistic. It's real. It's you just having a conversation. You pick the topic, but tell us about that. So you're not having things fly in and special music. It's really just you.
I am super low tech. I am not the greatest with technology. So yeah, I go for pretty simple. I mean, what you see is what you get with my videos. About the only thing I do production wise is that I do take some time to type out my script. And a lot of times I will type it and then let it rest for a while and I'll come back and revisit it to kind of parse it down or swap out some of the wording and that kind of thing. But the rest is literally just me in front of the phone, the camera, rattling off what I wanted to share. And yeah, no special effects, no anything else. Once in a blue moon, I'll add music in the background and I can't decide if I like that or not. So I usually skip it.
Well, and you went through the whole process of you shoot it yourself. Like you said, you shoot it on your phone, and I have it down here. You use a program called Big View.
I do, yeah. I'm sure there's others out there, but I hopped onto Big View a little over a year ago, and what it does is it lets you create your script on the computer and edit it however you want, and then send it to the app on your phone, and then I just mount my phone in the light ring, and my own script scrolls on the phone kind of like a teleprompter. I've learned long ago that I don't think quickly on my feet, and I also have a terrible memory. It's worse when I'm stressed. So it's better for me to have that script. Once in a while, I might change up a couple words on the fly, but for the most part, I am reading the script on the Big View program. And because of the way it scrolls and I've learned how to put spacing in it and everything, I feel like for the most part, it sounds like a natural conversation.
Well, you brought up 2 points in there. It's your own script, right? So you've made up
Right.
the script, but you're not spending 10 hours a week on this, right? This is more of, I have an idea, I'm putting it together, and I'm presenting it.
Right. I typically spend something like literally probably no more than 15 minutes on my script writing, maybe an extra 3 or 4 minutes later when I revisit it to see if it needs some editing or if I think of another point I want to make or different word I want to use. But yeah, very limited time. Kind of hit it and quit it.
So you do that, you shoot that, and then it shoots it out to social media.
Yeah, inside the program, I can share to social media. So, for example, what I do is I will share it directly from Big View to Facebook to our We Insure
Mm.
Advocates page, and then from there, I'll log into Facebook on the computer and I'll share it to a couple other groups that I'm a part of. One is the Remax, the team Remax here. Another one is a networking group that I'm in. So I share it with them so they don't necessarily have to follow those other pages in order to see it each week.
That is a great idea. But you go one step further and use one of my other favorite programs out there is BombBomb. So you use BombBomb for your own email distribution as well. So you get that,
I
you get
do.
this message out there.
Yeah, for the limited time and effort that goes into it, I do feel like I've got a pretty broad audience and I keep adding to that. So I share it with all of the Remax realtors in our organization. And then I also have a list that is my own, I call it interested friends and partners. So it's other sphere of influence type people, realtors and lenders that I've dealt with from other places, the occasional client. I have a couple other We Insure agents that specifically asked, hey, could you send that to me each time? So I do turn right around after I've posted on social media and I share it by email using BombBomb, which is super simple. You've used it and I love that you can pick a different template so it looks fresh every time you send it. So BombBomb has been fantastic.
So those two in conjunction, that's your full-blown production model. So you're not an expert. You haven't been doing this for 20 years or an on-air personality. You're creating these on the fly and you're making great content.
Oh, let me tell you, when it was Tad Fulford who initially suggested that I do video, and I was terrified. I mean, I kind of gave him the deer in the headlights look like, no, you don't understand. That's not my thing. So it's been a work in process. My first few certainly were not great. I still don't like to watch myself. I'll run them one time to make sure I don't have any huge bloopers, and then that's it. That's the last time I want to look at it.
Well, see, that is a great point for everybody out there. And even it doesn't matter what industry you're in, right? Video is a fantastic way to convey a message, build that brand loyalty and really touch quite a few people in your sphere and all those stakeholders. So this is great stuff. So we talked a little bit about the audience. You said realtors, customers, lenders, people you've worked with, interested stakeholders. The topics, where do you come up with the topics? Because you do some great topics.
Oh, thank you. Honestly, the majority of my topics come from some kind of question or scenario that came up in the week or two prior to me writing the script. It's something that maybe a customer asked me, and I thought, lots of people ask me that, or just an oddball thing that came up with whoever I'm talking with. Once in a blue moon, I'll get stuck and I'll start asking. Like I go home and ask my husband, "What am I going to do my insurance nugget about?" Or I quiz some other people. Like, do you have any ideas? What's your burning insurance question? Nobody has a burning insurance question. They will never tell you. But I do get great feedback here in the office because a lot of times some of the realtors will pop me back a response on BombBomb. They're like, "Loved your video. I didn't know that."
That's part of it, right? It's entertainment and education at the same time.
Yeah, watch
And
me
what I
make a
like
fool of myself. Join in.
wow, it's all part of the game, right? That's
Right.
part of this, right? It's authentic, right? So it's not overly produced. We
Yes.
talked about that. It's authentic. It's you telling a story about a specific topic that people really need to know. So that's what I really applaud you on there. So frequency, once a week.
Once a week. Yeah, pretty much every Wednesday. Once in a blue moon, something will come up. I'm out of town or something, and I might push it either do it a day early or do it a day late, but pretty much I stick to Wednesdays. And it is kind of funny because a couple of my followers, I've had somebody here in the building say, I didn't get my video today. And I kind of laughed a couple of weeks ago. I said, oh, that's because it's Tuesday. I'll be doing it tomorrow.
Listen, that's the greatest compliment you can get, is people actually waiting to see
looking for it, right?
Which I'm sure happens to me all the time. I just don't realize.
So, I'm sure it does.
The other part about it was the length of time, right? So you don't, try to make a 25-minute video here. So these are a little longer because we're having conversations, but you're delivering a very short message. You want to make sure it gets across and people actually watch it.
Yeah, exactly. It really is meant to be a nugget, not a manual. So I've found that if I can keep them a minute and a half or under, that more people will watch them. Particularly when I send them on BombBomb, if you've received one, then it comes up and it'll give you the arrow, watch, whatever, 1 minute video or 3 minute video. And I know there are people who make the decision of whether or not to watch based on the length. Because there's like, oh, that's just too much, as if 3 or 4 minutes of your time is going to blow you out of the water. But a minute and a half to a minute sometimes is just enough. And I figure if it really does drive people to other questions, then they'll email me or call me, and that's exactly what people do.
Well, this is fabulous. So this gives you a complete overview of how this is put together. Not overly produced. It's very straightforward. It's good information delivered to people who are interested in it, and your stakeholders are hearing from you on a consistent basis. I can't think of a better thing to do, right? So the last two things we have here are tips from Terri. And the first tip I think is fantastic. The first tip that you said was ask other people to share it for you.
Yes, I do actively ask, but sometimes I'll have somebody receive the BombBomb email and say, hey, is it okay if I forward this to my client? Absolutely. And that's a great time when I answer that. Please share any of them, and then I'll direct them to, like, these are also on YouTube if you want to grab any of them there. If there's older topics that you've got a client you think is interested in, it's just kind of another way to say, hey, yeah, go to our library and take a look.
And there's nothing better, right? And then obviously you're getting your message out to a wider audience, but there's nothing better if they're sharing with their clients, saying you've got to talk to Terri, and they've seen a video by Terri, right? It helps.
People feel like it does, and people feel like they know me when they've seen me on video. So it already eases that transition just a little bit. People have seen my face; you know what I mean. They just feel like they have a little connection before they call or email me.
Well, they get to deal with a superstar, right? You're video. This is it. So, and tip number 2, this is it. This one is also fantastic. You've said there's some other agents in there that shoot their own videos for YouTube, and you joined some of their video content or some of the other people's podcasts or other thing. That's a great tip. So tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah. So, when you first open the We Insure office, regardless of where you are, it sometimes takes a while for your referral sources to buy in and even believe that you have anything to offer and that you're any better than whoever they've been dealing with before on the insurance side. But as I got a foothold here and gained credibility with a lot of our agents, then I've had several ask me if I would be a guest on their YouTube channel or whatever video they were doing. So I've done that probably half a dozen times. And what has become kind of funny is that they get, especially some that have been very consistent over the years doing their videos or their YouTube channels, they have quite a following. So I have actually done business with clients who sought me out, who called me because they saw me on someone else's video. And they said, well, you really sounded like you know what you were talking about. I want to do business with you. And people I've never, heard of and would never have reached on my own, even with my own videos. But then I've had people say, I saw you on, so-and-so's video, and then I went and watched your videos. Okay.
Let me tell you, those are 2 great tips for anybody in sales, right? It's not just it's insurance, but you're coming off as an expert. You're talking about the craft that you love doing on a day-to-day basis, and you're helping people. So, I mean, what could be better than that, right?
Works.
Fantastic. Well, Terri, I really appreciate you joining us today and sharing all that information about how you put out videos on a consistent and weekly basis. And we can see right below, if you're in South Carolina and you need some insurance, right there, it's the WeInsureAdvocates.com, and you want to talk to Terri, you'll see her videos. So you obviously want to talk to the superstar here. But great information. And again, it's easier than it looks. you get over the very scary part of being not on camera, and you're really helping grow, the business there for We Insure. So we really appreciate it, and we thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thanks so much.
You got it. Have a good one.
You too.